Hey, welcome to today's technical analysis video, our daily stock series. Today we're going to look at the Campbell Soup Company. Campbell Soup historically would see a significant boost in sales right around Thanksgiving, and we are approaching that. Of course, today is November the 5th, 2019. Let's take a look at the 1-year chart of this stock. So it's had a pretty steady grind higher. A few smaller retracements, and then it pulls higher, nudges higher. So we're seeing just at the end, you'll see a nice upward trend on this stock. So let's take a look at the moving averages. And it's no shocker, once again, with the steady uptrend most of the time, most of the last year, the moving averages were in line. If you look at it right now, though, the 10-day is actually less than the 20, but still higher than the 50. Now that can pull higher with one or two strong bars. So I don't put I put less stock in the moving averages when they are in this sort of area of confusion, or consolidation would probably be a better way to put it. When they are all in line, though, I do put more stock in it. And you can always look over here in the upper left-hand corner, because you actually see the numerical values of each of the moving averages. So my 10-day is the green line, and it's priced at $46.63. The 20-day is higher at $46.95, and the 50-day is the lowest, $46.32. For this to truly be a bullish signal, you would want the 10-day to be higher than the 20, which would still be higher than the 50-day. So let's take a look at the 5-year. And the 5-year history is a little different, right? So we're seeing a huge, almost a 3-year trend down, a 3-year downward trend, and we are coming up off of that trend. So that means that this Fibonacci retracement is going to be of use today. But let's take a look at the moving averages and see what's going on. So at the 5-year point, and this is with weekly bars. Each of these bars is 1 week, 1 week of data. With the 5-year, we're seeing all three moving averages in line. So the 10-week moving average is higher than the 20-week, which is higher than the 50. And on this chart, that 50-week moving average is essentially a 1-year moving average. 20-week, of course, is more like a 4-month moving average, or 5-month moving average, and then the 10-week is going to be closer to a 2 months. So very strong bullish signal at this price level, or at this time frame. And it's important to look at your data in different time frames, especially find the ones that are more relevant to your holding period. So if you are a day trader, for instance, a 5-year chart really isn't all that valuable. It'll give you some information, but you might want to look at more like a 1 hour versus a 30-minute chart, just to see what's really happening intraday. But for most investors who intend to buy a stock and hold on to it for a little bit longer time period than just a few minutes, this definitely is relevant. Now let's look at the retracement, the Fibonacci retracement, and we, in the near term, in that one year period, we really only have one direction. It's been largely an up move, which is what we see since 2019. But with this expansion, we pick up this downward move that started back in 2016 and really ended at the beginning of this year. And so far, we have retraced. We've already crossed a significant barrier, which is the 38.2% retracement. I have that showing at $45.82. So we're a little bit higher than that right now. What's also interesting is back in May and really April of 2015, we actually saw some resistance there at the level we're at. So that's pretty good. I'm hoping that resistance, which also came into effect back here in September and October of 2017, really Q4 of 2017, I'm hoping that price level stays as resistance to give this a little more strength to at least get to this 50% level, which would be more like the $50 level, $49.89 specifically. So of course I always like to look at the MACD, which is a moving average convergence divergence. And what's happening here is a scenario where we've already had a cross in the oversold. Now what'll happen is once this crosses down, and I'm sorry, this is back on the 1 year, you can see this is the daily, these are daily bars. So on the 1 year chart, we've already crossed over that oversold territory, and we're approaching the zero line. And at the zero line, I'm sorry, up above it is the overbought. And at the zero line, once we cross, we're going to get into that oversold region, which will give us another boost higher. So this is coming up on being a bullish pattern. And we're about to cross that on the 5 year chart as well. I had to look at it on a 5 year as well, because that's where we're seeing more value in the retracement and some of the larger possible support and resistance levels. So looking at the 5 year, we're seeing a cross above the zero line, and above the zero line we know is overbought territory. And if it crosses lower, we expect it to pull back a little bit. But if it does pull back, if it ends up being similar to this, to what we see in the 1 year, it may pull back without actually going lower and give us another change in momentum, another bullish momentum, like what we saw back here in June, right? Here you had a cross that led to another pop higher, and so kind of hoping that'll happen. And this is a look at the channeling, the trend that has happened this year. What I do find interesting is that this upward portion of the trend that I tried to kind of keep each of these peaks within would actually lead us higher than $50 a share, which $50 of course will mark that 50% retracement level. So I'm keeping an eye on that level. And I also wanted to look at support and resistance on a 5 year chart. So on the 5 year, this green line is going to be our support, and you look at this green line, that $45 region, had more of the 38.2% retracement, right? So we saw it be significant back in Q1, Q2 of 2015. We saw it be relevant in Q4 of 2017, and it may be relevant again. I'm hoping that this stock is going to pop at least to the $50 level, which would be closer to that 50% retracement. But look what we have up here, closer to $53. There's some resistance there. We saw resistance there in late 2015. We saw that same. We saw it actually become a bit of support, some congestion at the end of 2017. And it kind of acted as a little bit of resistance. I'm sorry, yes, some resistance here midway through 2017 again. So I actually think this could end up being resistance again, which leads me to be somewhat bullish on this stock. Overall, this stock has been in an upward trend all year long. The 1 year moving average is mixed, of course, while the 5 year clearly was still in a bullish pattern with the weekly bars. The Fibonacci analysis on the 5 year chart shows that we're only about $3.50 away from the 50% retracement level of that last bear trend. So I actually think I'm leaning towards us hitting that level. The MACD, of course, shows that we are crossing, both in the 1 year and the 5 year, crossing in the overbought region, and without significant price drops. So that could mean that we're starting to retool for a bit more bullish momentum. And of course, this Campbell stock has spent all year in an upward trending price channel, which I think once again shows that the upward part of that channel is at that $50 level. So I'm fully expecting Campbell's to reach $50 a share, which is about a 7% increase from where the price is right now. I also expect to see resistance near $53 per share. That also coincides with the 61.8% retracement level in the Fibonacci analysis, which is always a key level as well. So I definitely overall I'm feeling bullish on Campbell Soup. I mean, it's Thanksgiving time. We're going to see an upward tick in their revenue here this quarter, but for the holidays. Did you know their highest selling product in the holidays is actually mushroom soup? You don't think about how many different recipes can be made or will be made using cream of mushroom. So I guess I'm bullish cream of mushroom soup over the next couple of months, and we'll find out soon if I'm right. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys are having a great week. Happy trading.